What does it mean to become nobody? Charles Manson's answer reveals keen insight into the heart of Monster's greatest question.
People look at you today, 20 years later, and they still have no idea what you're about. Tell me in a sentence who you are.
Nobody. I'm nobody. I'm a tramp, a bum, a hobo. I'm a boxcar and a jug of wine. And a straight razor if you get too close to me.
In response to the question of who are you, infamous cult leader of the late 1960s, Charles Manson's response may be bewildering at first glance, but upon a closer examination, it provides us an interesting insight into the significance of one's own identity. Upon being asked the question, "Who are you?" Manson's first instinct is to respond with a variety of emoji-like facial expressions, ranging over the entire emotional spectrum in quick succession: anger, surprise, amusement, confusion, glee, shock, happiness, and ultimately indifference. He then follows this odd display with a verbal response to the reporter's question, stating that he is nobody. He continues, explaining that he's a tramp, a bum, a hobo, a boxcar, and a jug of wine, and a straight razor if you get too close. At first viewing, one would be inclined to conclude that these were nothing but the mere ramblings of a deranged madman. But what if I told you that upon a deeper analysis into what exactly Manson meant, we may be able to gather an interesting insight into this question of identity, or lack thereof. One interpretation is that Manson considered himself quote-unquote a nobody in the adjective form to describe himself as an outcast or someone living on the outskirts of society, like a bum or a hobo, a person of no significant importance to the outer society. While this may be true, I also believe Manson had considered himself to be the pronoun nobody, as in identifying as not any person, non-human. By identifying himself as a boxcar, a jug of wine, and as a straight razor, he effectively depersonifies himself, as if to say he's not a human person, identifying more closely with inanimate objects. Perhaps it's because he has been ostracized from society, or has ostracized himself through his actions. Now, in the bowels of a prison cell, he has effectively been detached from society, or any semblance of humanity, and thus relates more closely with the inanimate and other non-human entities. Not only is he a dreg of society, but he can also be the scenery in which they are found, the drink that they consume, and a weapon or a tool for violence, like a straight razor. But what stood out to me most was Manson's facial emotional exhibition. When Manson was asked who he was, for some reason he first chose to respond with an expression of the entire human emotional lexicon at once, reminiscent of an android malfunctioning, another non-human entity. Whether they were faked or not, he has learned these emotions and can produce them at will, given the proper inputs, as if he were a computer program. This was no doubt a method he used to mimic and manipulate those around him. But what was Manson's purpose behind doing this? It stands to reason that one cannot be both happy and not happy or sad simultaneously. One cannot be both angry and calm at the same time. As per the law of non-contradiction, it's either one or the other. By expressing every emotion virtually simultaneously, perhaps he is actually trying to convey that he is no emotion at all. In other words, because he is every emotion, he is no emotion. Because he is everything and everybody, therefore, he is nobody. Essentially, he can wear any mask he needs to wear. He can take on any identity. He is every emotion there is to be. Because his personality is empty, he can play any role he needs to play. He can be any person he needs to be. Whether it be the role of the charismatic cult leader, that of the social outcast hobo, the inanimate object that is overlooked in the background, the tool that is used to commit atrocities, or even the madman lunatic who is raving lunacy in front of your very screen. He is nothing, and therefore he can be anything. Just as Franz Bonaparte once said, humans can be anything they want to be. And perhaps a prerequisite for this is to first become nothing at all. To become nobody. And this is where the one known as Johan comes in.